Number 20. A hyperbola has foci at -1, -2, and 13, -2, and eccentricity of 7/6. What is the equation of the hyperbola in standard form? Again, this is another problem where we could type these into our graph and then we can go to analyze conics and get all this facts. But let's just start without using a calculator first. We have foci. Now remember, foci is like the reflection point. They're always within a conic section at -1, -2, which means left 1 unit, down 2 units. We have a foci right there. The other foci occurs at 13 units to the right. Now, I'm going to jump over and say this is 13 units to the right, and then it's also 2 units down. And here's my other foci. Now, if this is a hyperbola, we can know two things right away. That one, this hyperbola has got to be horizontal because it's got to open around these foci. So it's got to be something like this on this hyperbola. Now, how you can determine something is horizontal is that x has got to be first and positive, which all these are. So nothing's eliminated. The next thing we talk about is where must the center be? That would be the second thing. So if I'm left 1 and also right 13, that means they're a difference of 14 units apart. So 7 units away from the foci, we'd have our center. Our center will be 7 units away. Well, if you add 7 to -1, you get the value 6. And just to check, 6 plus 7 is 13. So this is the center of these hyperbola. So let me kind of line that up better. And so that would mean the center would be at the point 6, -2. Now, if that's the case, when they go in parentheses with the x and y, the values will flip. So instead of being +6, we're going to look for x minus 6. So this option is out, and this option is out. Only these two remain. And then we need to be down 2. So we need to have +2. So we're still good there. Now, we go on to use this the eccentricity. Now, the eccentricity comes from the value that c over a. So this would mean my c right now is 7. My a is 6. And we need to check and make sure c is 7. The c is the difference, is the distance to the foci, to each foci. So this is a distance to foci. And when we check, let me write that in, distance to foci. Is it 7 units each way? Yes, it is. So this is the correct value, which means a is 6. So in our equation, we need 6 squared under, which we have on both of these, 36. So we still can't eliminate anything. The last thing we can eliminate is from b. To find b, we'll use the formula that c squared equals a squared minus b squared. And remember, our b's, we pretend are negative here. So let's plug in values. We know c is 7. So when we plug in 7 there, we'll have 7 squared equals a is 6 squared minus our b squared. 7 squared is 49. Now it'll equal 36 minus b squared. I'm going to subtract the 36. Whoops, I was giving away the answer there. When I subtract 36 from both sides, what I'm left with is that 13 equals negative b squared, or we could say that if I replace this negative b, I'll replace it with 13. So j is going to actually be my answer there. Another way of looking at this is to say b squared equals negative 13. And so that's where the negative 13 comes in, because the formula is usually plus b squared. So that's why it's negative 13. Now, to check this in our calculator, we're going to jump ahead and just plug in this answer choice. We'll go to Graphs, Menu, Graph Entry, Equation, Hyperbola, and we'll type in the equations with the x first, just because that's what all of them were. Now, we said it should be -6, and then up here, we said +2. So this is already a minus, so I need to make this -2. That'll make it equivalent to +2. On the bottom, they already have a squared, so we could put in 6 squared here, or the way I oftentimes will do it is I'll just say, what did I do here? Sorry. Let me try this one more time. Graphs, Menu, Entry, Equation, go to Hyperbola. It was 6 here, and we had a -2 here. Now, beneath the values, instead of having a 13, we can put in a square root of 13. That way, the square root and the square will cancel each other out. And then I go over here, and I want to put square root of 36. Now, you could just put in 6 squared, because it's the same number, but I just like keeping it exact. And so now we look at our picture, and here's what their picture looks like, and we need to test some things. We go to Menu, Analyze Graph, Analyze Conic, and we're going to choose Foci. And when I highlight it, I'll click Enter, and you see the 2 points, -1, -2, and 13, -2, which is exactly what we had. And we can also go to Menu, Analyze Graph, Analyze Conic, and choose Eccentricity here. And when I highlight it, it'll give me my value. Now this says 1.1667. We need it to be 7/6. So if I go over to the calculator, I can go 7 divided by 6. I'll just put a decimal point so it gives me a decimal. And we see it's the same value. So that is, in fact, the right answer. It's J.